All right, we're back. Hey, collective. This is another All Signs collective reading. I just did what was intended to be a 3-card pull, and instead we got 4 cards. So let's just jump into it. I'm going to do something different and start with the 2 cards that were jumpers that just came out. The first one being Forbidden Love, and the other card being Unrequited Love. Now, I'm going to tell you that the 2 other cards that we pulled from another deck are contrasting energy, but let's get into this message from your angels, from your spirit guides, from your loving ancestors. The message that's coming through is that for some of you out there in the collective, there is a connection that has formed in your life relatively recently. This aspect of forbidden love may not mean that it's literally forbidden. I mean, it could be that for some of you, either because of culture or faith or politics or circumstance, there's something about the connection that is less than ideal. Maybe it's difficult to get together because of your backgrounds or what people may perceive to be the differences that both of you embody. There's something about this love that you or both of you feel may not be fitting. The text below says, the flame beyond boundaries. So for some of you, it may be the case that you have created boundaries in your life that are pretty firm, or maybe you have really clear ideas of what you want out of your life, out of yourself, and then also out of a partner, a love connection, a romantic connection. But maybe this person that you've met doesn't quite fit that bill. And it doesn't mean that they're not worthy and deserving of your love and energy and attention, but this person just may not look like what you pictured on paper for one reason or another. This is less like physical. I mean, it could be. Maybe the person phenotypically in their physicality is not who you imagined. But this could also be just in terms of their background or their life experiences. Maybe they're in a different stage of life than you. There could be an age gap here. It could be that one of you has children. One of you comes from a really big family or a very conservative family, and in one way or another, there's contrast in your lives. So that this element of forbiddenness is really present as you feel your way through the connection. But Spirit has me telling you that there's no such thing as forbidden love. Love is infinite and for everyone and comes in every shape and form at every point in time. You love who you love, and that feeling that we associate with love is divine, right? That's a spiritually guided, intuitive connection that is formed. And so that can never be wrong. Now, do we all have to make decisions about who we engage with, who we choose to interact with, and in what ways and to what extent? Yeah. But this first card isn't giving me any pause that this person somehow brings anything negative into your life. This person just doesn't fit the bill in terms of what you imagine, but that's not always a bad thing. In fact, sometimes it can be a pretty spectacular thing. So this other card that's, again, sort of painting the picture of this romantic connection says unrequited love, rejection. So for those of you in the collective that this message may resonate with, what's coming forward is that you might have been the person who maybe has suggested that this connection should not persist. Maybe you have rejected someone. But what's coming through is this isn't a sincere rejection. Whether it was you or the other person, this isn't like, you know, you conveyed to this person like, I don't have feelings for you, or I'm not interested in you. You are, and this person recognizes that. This feels like maybe you or the other person has communicated. This is you, collective. For those of you that this message is resonating with, what's coming through is this is you kind of guiding some of the direction of this connection. So you might have communicated to this person like, yeah, I just don't have, this just isn't going to work for me. I don't think you've communicated to them that you don't have feelings. Maybe you have, but more likely than not, this is you saying, I just don't see how this is going to work. We come from two different worlds, or we live, miles and miles apart, or our families are so different and I don't know how our lives would blend, or we work in the same place, or see each other too much. There's too much overlap in our life, and for that reason, this just wouldn't work. I can't move forward in this connection with you. I get the feeling that there are some of you who have communicated this to this person who you genuinely do have very strong and passionate feelings for. But again, love, both of these cards, I want to be clear, have the word love in it. Whether it's the forbidden love or unrequited love, it's love. So the descriptive word in front of love is something that, you're assigning to this connection. It's coming from a mental space, like you analyzing what you think is and isn't right love. And again, I'm here to remind you that all love is good and worthy and deserving and true love. Now, we have to be discerning in being able to tell whether what we're feeling and what someone else may be feeling actually is love versus when it's something else. If it's, affection, attraction, lust. There was a word, I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, and there was a word that they taught us that we had to distinguish between love and, what was that word? Oh my gosh, it's escaping me. It'll come back to me. But it's basically like being, having a crush, like getting caught up and excited. It'll come to me. Getting caught up and excited, and like you're in the feels, but it's very surface level. And it's more susceptible to volatility and you changing your mind or circumstances changing and that changing how you feel about a person. It's not authentic love. And there are ways of knowing, and I think we all have those intuitive tools within us to know what is and isn't love. But I want to remind us that these cards are both qualifying love, they're characterizing love, and you can't, in my opinion, can't do that. Love is love. Love is source, it is spirit, it is divine, creative intelligence. It is all, it is all consuming and always and in all ways good. And however you define love or understand love for yourself, you know it when it is identified in your spirit. You know it when you recognize that you're moving through the world from a place of love, when you're dealing with someone from a place of love, when that heart space is activated. Because all things that come from that energy source or that sort of vibrational frequency, it's a caring thing, it's a generous thing, it's a abundant thing, it's a playful thing, it's a light thing, it's a happy thing. It can be a passionate thing, but it's also a purposeful and intentional, and it's good in every way. I'm gonna stop talking about love, but love is love. So your guides are wanting you to step outside of yourself and recognize that. I think that's why we're underscoring what it is to see and know and feel and experience love. Because if you were to step outside of yourself and sit with this feeling, sit with this knowing for some time, you would recognize that this person is someone who is reflecting back to you the divinity in you. And there can never be anything wrong with that. No person is perfect, but this is a special connection, deserving of your consideration. Okay, so I want to get on to the other two cards because I find them really interesting in this reading. So the next card that further clarifies this connection is change. And then we have ease. I love this card. So collective, for those of you who find this reading to have some resonance, what's coming forward is that there will be a shift. Oh, you know what else is interesting about this card? That Spirit's bringing through this change. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the figures that are going around in a circle, these are like the silhouette of a head. It's like a portrait, like someone's head. And so the head is going around in circles, in a circle, and it speaks to change, which is telling me that you're opening up your mind to reconsidering this connection and maybe other things that tie into it in your life. You're twirling with this in your mind. You're revisiting, you're turning the wheels, and you're coming across a change in the way that you perceive this connection. You're forming a change of thought. You're forming a change of perspective and opinion. And that's always such a good thing to take yourself through a process where you can be reflective, have some time for reflection. Maybe you arrive at the same conclusion or the same takeaway or the same, like, you know, first determination that you made when something first presented itself to you. But it's always, I think, a good practice to take a step back and start to ask yourself questions and see if you're doing two things. One, am I leading from my mental self, which sometimes is really important, that analytical part of ourselves. We have it for a reason, and sometimes it's really important. But there are other times in life when Spirit's asking us to lead and live from a different aspect of our being. So having those moments of reflection can kind of have us pause for a second and recognize what part of our body, our spiritual body, are we leading from? And then also, is there something else for me to see here? Either, you know, mentally, but maybe intuitively or emotionally. What else might be available for me to observe and absorb? So a change is occurring, and it might very well be that you decide that you have a change of heart. Oh, I like that, a change of heart. Moving from sort of the mental, analytical self to the heart self and sensing a change there in what ultimately might be your decision in moving forward in this connection. So this other card of ease, I love this as sort of an end note to the reading. Like, this is meant for you to hold. There is so much light and love and good and brightness and energy circulating here for you. This is this connection is meant for you to hold space in yourself and in sort of creating the opportunity for this connection to unfold, for you to explore it. And it's meant to be easy. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. And if there are those of you who are like, I don't have anybody in my life right now, I'm not partnered, there's nobody I got my eyes on, I don't know who you're talking about. Well, this person is coming in and they're coming in hot. This person's coming in very soon to your life. And you're gonna meet them and you're gonna be like, oh wow, like I am taken by this person. I am taken by this energy. But oh damn, this isn't what I was expecting. So, ooh, look, confirmation, camera shake. But yeah, this is a beautiful, this is also, you know, what's coming through energetically. This is fun. This is fun and this is so exciting. And I feel giddy just talking about it. I feel giddy for you. This feels like electric. This feels so pure and honest and sincere and life-changing, but in the best of ways. Like, you're gonna have such a peaceful unfolding if you allow it, if you want it. And it might be that you don't, but this is available to you. All right, I hope this reading helps.